It's nice to be here with you all. I'm so excited to be welcoming our students into the fall semester. I'm sure everyone has had such a crazy, hectic year. And I know on campus, we are all looking forward to seeing our students and having a great 21-22 academic year ahead. So my name is Alyssa Snizek, and I work in the Career Center on campus. I am the Associate Director for Career Readiness and Student Engagement. And I work primarily with our students in the classroom. I work a lot with our faculty and our deans, bringing experiences and career readiness to our students. So I want to do, let me share a formal presentation here, but I do want to say, please feel free to ask any questions, whether it be in the chat or in the Q&A place. And I know Shelly's monitoring it, and I will as well. So this really is talking about career in your first year. And oftentimes students think that career is something that's so far away, that's something they don't have to think about at the time being. They can worry about it until their senior year. And really, we want to change that perception that career is important right from the start. And decisions don't have to be made immediately, but there's so many things that our students can be doing on campus and off campus to really prepare for their career. So getting a job really does, in a sense, start now. And what exactly does that mean? And what am I referring to? Let's see if we can start here. There we go. So there is also this myth that a major has to equal a career. And that isn't always the case. Now, if a student were to come to me and say, I want to be a CPA, I want to work at an accounting firm, and they're an engineering major, then absolutely we have a problem. A doesn't equal A and B doesn't equal C. So we have to think about a plan. But in many cases, students have various career paths and industries to choose from. And it really is us teaching them and a student exploring about what their interests are and what their passions are, and us trying to help them really hone in on their professional skills. So there are competencies that come with that major or from that major. And again, it's about career exploration, finding out what perhaps that first destination is, and exploring that first career, whether, again, it could be an internship experience, which is so important, we'll talk more about in a minute, and then, of course, launching their career. But I do want to know, if your son, daughter, child, student comes home and says, I'm X major and I want to do, something different. No, that probably is possible. Have them come and see us, work with at the Career Center, working with academic advisors. Let us lead some of those conversations and help them navigate. What does that mean? Where do you want to go? How are we going to do research together to figure this out? Because sometimes there isn't an exact correlation between major and their career choice. So the Career Center, along with many career centers nationwide, belong to a professional association called NACE, which is the National Association of Colleges and Employers. And NACE has this fantastic list. They survey employers yearly, and they ask them for what are the most important things that you look for in your candidates and in your hires. And this list right here is that comprehensive list. These are the key things that employers look for in their candidates, in their interns, in their full-time employees, that students coming into the workforce need to be able to have these top skills. They're not answering about bachelor degree. They're not answering about 50 internships coming in or a co-op experience or something like that. These are the key skills that every single employer expects their student and their candidate to have. And the Career Center works with students on multiple levels to help them figure out, how do you develop your problem-solving skills on campus? How do you develop your communication skills on campus or off campus? And really trying to teach a student to advocate for themselves and speak about those experiences and how they have that career readiness and that framework to be successful. So this right here is just a brief list of things that we suggest students do to build those career ready skills. So of course, an internship, whether you're doing it for credit or not for credit, whether it's paid or unpaid, that internship is priceless in developing so many of those skills. Any type of involvement in our student clubs and organizations on campus, and it doesn't have to be a leadership role by any means. Of course, those leadership roles come with different experiences, but just getting involved on campus and having that role and that passion for an organization or a group is so important to that employer. Employment, whether that's on or off campus, and of course that can be work study or non-work study as well. Students are able to, if any of your students have federal work study, you can actually earn your federal work study dollars off campus as well. So just be aware as students are looking for opportunities in our Coursera jobs database that there could be some off-campus opportunity as well. And sometimes the worlds collide and the universe gives these great opportunities where you can somehow link or sometimes link your federal work study with maybe your major, and you're doing your federal work study money off campus, and maybe it relates to your major too. Of course, community involvement and engagement. So anything within volunteering, getting involved with our America Reads program, or anything similar to that, invaluable for your resume and for building those skills. Study abroad would be another fantastic opportunity for students. And then, of course, undergraduate research. We are a research institution. Our faculty are always doing wonderful research opportunities and are always looking for students to assist with their projects. So again, this isn't a full list, but this is, a short list of things that students can be involved in and can start doing right on campus or off campus to start to build that resume leading up to their graduation and leading to life after UMass Dartmouth. So our 4-year career plan, the Career Center is embedded into multiple schools, multiple majors. We visit almost every single freshman. And I say almost every single because some of our academic programs we have different partnerships with. So for example, our College of Nursing, we happen to work with those nurses in their senior year. Everyone else, we meet them in their freshman year, and we really start working on how to plan, build, work, and live. And I'll show you some examples here of that. But it's a 4-year career plan and a 4-year plan of these are our suggested and recommended things that your student be doing every single year to continue down in increments to finally get to that goal of being able to carry out their goal or their plan. So you will see the Career Center staff and advisors in many of our freshman level class, many of our sophomore, and then again, we do a lot of senior capstone projects and lessons at that stage too. So that first year, looking to just really have students identify their personality, their skills, their interests, and not everyone knows what that means. We don't expect a student to come in and have that aspiration or that goal in mind, but really we encourage students to look at some of the resources available in our office, and that includes Type Focus, which is a career assessment. And that career assessment measures a student's values, interests, personality, skills. And for those students that are maybe deciding on their major, they're undeclared, that can sometimes give them a little bit of focus, no pun intended, to lead the conversation of what major, what career they are interested in. And again, just another resource on our website is what can I do with this major? Another tool that we use in our office to start those conversations and those advising sessions with students. Also, again, just students getting involved in community service or clubs and organizations, maybe part-time work, attending our job and internship fairs. So on the second day of classes, September 2nd, the Career Center organizes a part-time job and internship fair, and that is organized and housed right in our Trip Athletic Center, and that is from 12 to 3. We certainly don't, that event is so early in the semester, you don't need to be in formal attire or complete business attire. It's meant for students to walk in and out and drop in during classes, etc. But again, that event is a great first career fair just to get acquainted with some of our employers that come to campus. And again, looking maybe for that part-time or internship opportunity. And while I'm on that topic, later in the semester or throughout the year, we also host other job and internship fairs. We hold an accounting and finance fair, a business engineering and technology fair. We host a nursing career fair in the spring semester. We do a nonprofit and human services event in the spring semester. I'm trying to think of what else we do. We do a large expo in the spring semester. And then we also do smaller niche events, maybe with our CVPA department, or we might do something within a specific department like mechanical engineering, things of that nature. So those are more professional job and internship fairs in which we do expect students to show up dressed business to business casual, be prepared for having some adult conversation with a recruiter, and we help your student navigate all of those things as well. As we move on, just kind of quickly going through these, then things for your student to get involved with in the sophomore or second year is attending Career Center workshops. So we train students on a multitude of things. We have an internship information session that we offer throughout both semesters several times. We do LinkedIn workshops. We do mock interviewing with students. We help students navigate the graduate school process. We also help students with their resume and cover letter, and we teach a student how to tailor their resume and cover letter to specific jobs. Again, you can see they're building their online brand and attending some of those job fairs and social events. Go ahead, Jelly.
Alyssa, I just want to share this question that's popped up. Is the Career Center available for students in the 3+3 law program? Is there a special group that handles the 3+3 law program?
Good, excellent question. So Marissa, what would happen is your student would work with us through the undergraduate process, and then the law school has their own career center that their career professionals have JD degrees, so they would be helped tailor some of those conversations as your student moves through that program, but initially starting in our office to start. Okay. So third year, again, encouraging students to seek out a leadership position if they're interested. So sometimes it's a perfect fit and students don't always realize this, but everything on campus is real. We're really helping other organizations. Students are really volunteering outside, or they're really raising money for Relay for Life. Sometimes people think we live in this pseudo world on a college campus. And I'll say to a student, if you're a finance major, go get a club and organization that you can be the treasurer of. Go really work and allocate that money and showcase that on your resume. So really trying to figure out what are great leadership stepping stones for your student. And, again, not everyone wants to be a club leader, and that's totally fine, but still getting involved is so important. One thing that I haven't mentioned yet is Handshake. Handshake is on our website, and it is a database, an online job database for our students and our employers. And it's also a networking tool. So we encourage students to get started on that right away. As a matter of fact, when a student does meet us in their freshman level class in the fall semester, we will have them on Handshake, starting their profile. It is, again, a place for students to search for jobs, internships. Our events are organized on there. And also what we really saw an uptick of as a positive during COVID last year is many employers did their own virtual events. So they were doing their own information sessions. They were doing their own smaller recruiting fairs. And we're seeing that that's still happening, which is fantastic. So a student may have the aspiration to work for X company, and X company has an event every single month that they're hosting. So it's important for students to be aware that there are also outside hosted events on Handshake. And it's also a place for students to network. So if any of you are familiar with LinkedIn, I'd like to refer to it as a mini LinkedIn. So all Handshake users, whether you're a student or an employer, can network with each other. Let's see this next question here. Oh, thanks, Shelley. Perfect. And every student automatically has a Handshake account. It's nothing they need to sign up for. They will find it right in our portal. And as soon as that student is enrolled, so I actually think all freshmen are already in our Handshake database. They just get popped right over and refreshed. So they should all be there already. They can just go right in to the portal, find Handshake, and they can start their account there, or rather, what's the word I'm looking for? Start customizing their profile. So as I was saying, we do mock interviews and help students prepare for interviews as well. We also have a program called Big Interview, which is a virtual platform where students can practice interviewing. So we're seeing a lot of employers that don't need to travel to campus to interview anymore. They can do that from the comfort of their office. As something that really just changed during COVID. So being able to practice an interview virtually is really important, and Big Interview does that for them. We actually do Big Interview as a class exercise in many of our junior and senior level classes too. And then finally, that senior year, hopefully at this point, students have obtained an internship. I just want to say quickly too, that I referred to NACE a short time ago, our National Association of Colleges and Employers, the class of 2020 data for doing an internship. This again is very important data that NACE collects for us. So 66.4% of students that interned from the class of 2020 were converted to a full-time employee. And that just right there speaks for itself of how important it is to do an internship, that students be converted to a full-time employee, kind of go through that 15-week interview process during their internship. They know the company, they're comfortable with the company. So we really do encourage doing an internship or two. Thank you again, Shelley. Again, attending career fairs are super important. I say to students, the employers are not there to network with me. They're there to network with students. They want to meet them. They're there because they know the talent that we have on campus. So always be sure to take advantage of those opportunities, again, at those job fairs. And, again, helping with students with their graduate school process in their junior and senior year, if that's something that is of interest to them, and even helping them figure out if graduate school is something that they would like to do or something that fits in with their outline and their goals. So just quickly, next steps, our website is here. I know Shelley put it right in the chat as well. We meet with students on an individual basis, and we also meet in small groups with students. And again, you'll see all of our career advisors in classes throughout the semester, and we're always available to help our students at career events. We're always walking around, giving them advice, helping them. You can see too, right here on the left-hand side, talking about activating their Handshake account and what you can do with that system there. I encourage students to get involved with that right away and just become familiar with that. So let me open the floor up for questions here. If you have any, I am happy to cover them, and I'm sure I'll think of another thing or two that I forgot to mention.
Don't see any in there yet, but maybe someone's thinking of one right now.
Sure.
So we'll give it a moment in case they want to type that in. I love going over this because I think a lot of times people consider, oh, career, yep, senior year, we'll have to check that out.
Right.
So I love giving fresh perspective and, real insight into how important this can be. And then the insider tip, the pro tip is that not all students will do this.
Mm-hmm.
So, you get a lot of real catered experience and lots of great attention when you go in as a first year sophomore or junior, because not everyone gets the memo, or maybe, thinks it's the real deal, or they just forget about it and they're focused on other things. So
yes, we are the best kept secret on campus. So we're here for students to help them, to advise them our services outside of campuses are very, very expensive, and we are built into tuition. So please come visit us. We enjoy meeting and helping our students. And no matter what that conversation is, whether they're finding an internship and need some assistance, or again, mock interview, resume, or they're not sure what to do with their major, or they're not even sure what to major in, we work hand in hand with our academic advisors to talk about, choosing a major, and also the conversation of what potential careers does that major lead to.
Great stuff, Alyssa. And Alyssa is just one member of a team of folks that are, ready, willing, and able to work with your student on all of these things. Plus, there's no waiting with all the online tools and things like Handshake and the other materials that are available on the website. So there's something for everyone. Right. I still don't see any questions in there. So I'm going to say that career@umassd.edu is that email address. If your question comes up later. Oh, I see something in the chat.
Yeah, so my son wants to work at NASA when he graduates. Do you have any networks with space companies? That's a great question. We actually had a recent student, I believe she graduated 2 or 3 years ago, who did a fantastic internship at NASA. And we do have a network for you and connect your students. The Boston corridor has great aerospace opportunities if you're semi-local and you're looking for something that, maybe you don't want to send your student out to a NASA internship, but maybe something more local. But yes, absolutely. We will work with that student again on an individual basis. And that actually brings me to a great point that our students are welcome to use our network, which is CoursairNetwork.com. It is a newly launched mentor platform. And your student may have some luck there finding a mentor from NASA there. So, great question.
I wanted to add too, we have a pretty famous alumnus, Scott Tingle, who was an astronaut who went to the moon, and actually we were super excited to see him up there representing UMass Dartmouth. He brought his little UMass Dartmouth pennant and whatnot. He talked with faculty, staff, and students while he was there. So we have a special place in our hearts for NASA and the whole space thing too.
Exactly. So our most internships in Dartmouth, actually, no, we work with students throughout the year. Some students may intern during the summer where they're back home. We help a student wherever they are. Most of our students happen to be just in the Boston area or South Coast, but wherever your student lives, whatever is convenient for them, we help them find that internship. And yes, there are plenty of opportunities within Dartmouth and Providence in Boston, but we always work with students based on what's best for them.
All right. Well, again, thank you for your time, Alyssa.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
To all our families for staying tuned in.